Opening, the shock that shook Vegas. The boxing world is still reeling because nobody expected what unfolded when Terence Crawford walked into that Vegas ring. Analysts predicted disaster, claiming he was undersized, past his prime, and taking on a gamble too big to handle. But what happened instead left the entire sport stunned and speechless.
How are you feeling right now compared to how you were feeling back then when you won that fight?
I feel the same, because it wasn't a sense of me shocking the world. It was a sense of me doing what I said I was gonna do, so it might have been a shock to a lot of people, around, but it wasn't a shock to me, so I'm cool.
I know I'm smaller than Canelo. I know I'm smaller than these guys.
But Canelo's pretty short too. Canelo's
your height. We're the same height. We're the same height.
Exactly, for a 68-pounder. But he is a freaking boulder. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a thick kid.
A lot of people like, man, you can't be in him. Then I'm looking at him and I'm watching him. I'm like, man, I can beat this dude. Always been undersized.
Crawford silenced every critic in the most decisive way possible. He didn't just defeat Canelo, he dismantled him. All the talk about weight, size, and impossible odds vanished the moment he stepped into that Vegas ring with the focus of a man on a mission. This wasn't simply a victory. It was a statement, a piece of history carved in real time, proving that greatness ignores limits and erases excuses.
Tremendously, given the fact that his coach said that, he felt like I couldn't hurt Canelo with anything and Canelo can hurt me with everything. So I think, they put that in his head. And then when he got in there, he was like, whoa, they lied to me. This dude can.
Stephen A. Smith, who had been watching Crawford for years and waiting for this exact moment, finally got his answer on Saturday night. What unfolded wasn't just another fight, it was a masterclass, Crawford's defining moment to prove he truly belongs at the very top. Under the brightest lights, every promise he made and every bold claim he stood by came to life, sealing his place among boxing's elite.
He had been telling me for the last 2 years. He had one time I was at a UFC event, Molly and Cam, at the Sphere, and he was down there ringside and had somebody summon me down ringside just to come and talk to him and emphasize how badly he wanted the Canelo fight. And I was worried about him moving up, 3 weight classes, because he was 147 at the fight. It was before he fought Madrimov. And to watch him do what he did Saturday night against Canelo, showing that he was the superior boxer, that he could take a punch, that he could certainly give it, that he was strong. I can't say enough about him. As far as I'm concerned, pound for pound, Terence Crawford is the best on the planet as we speak right now. He's the man.
What shocked everyone was that Crawford didn't just manage the jump in weight, he ruled it. Against boxing's biggest superstar, he displayed flawless timing, pinpoint accuracy, and unexpected power, making every shot look like second nature, as if his whole career had been building toward this one night. When the opportunity arrived, he seized it with zero hesitation. Stephen A. captured the moment vividly, but even he couldn't help turning all attention toward the man who completely stole the show, Terence "Bud" Crawford.
I was out there. And Sean, my producer, if you could do me a favor, fix these lines so I can make sure I see everybody in this completion, okay? Because it's a little bit gobbled up on the screen. Let me tell y'all something about Terence "Bud" Crawford. This is the year 2025. He is the best boxer on the planet Earth. Terence Crawford is pound for pound the #1 fighter on the planet Earth. It's secured with this win. Now, that doesn't mean that if he stayed at the super middleweight division, that he'd end up beating somebody like the Mexican monster, David Benavidez. We ain't losing our damn minds here. It's not an accident that Canelo hasn't fought that man as of yet, because this man is something special, and he's a natural super middleweight that's having to fight at light heavyweight because he can't get anybody at the super middleweight or the middleweight division to fight him. But I'm talking about in terms of your skill set, what you bring to the table, and moving up essentially 3-weight division.
The lights, the noise, and the pressure of Vegas didn't shake Crawford one bit. While many expected him to crack, he delivered a flawless masterclass. Stephen A. Smith captured it perfectly. This wasn't just an upset. It was one of the greatest performances the city has ever seen. What was supposed to be Canelo's stage turned into Crawford's coronation. As the rounds ticked by, it became clear. Crawford wasn't surviving, he was pulling away, dominating every exchange with a razor-sharp jab, impeccable distance control, and precision that neutralized Canelo's strengths. At 168, where Canelo had always reigned, Crawford dethroned him in his very first fight. The impossible became undeniable. The underdog didn't just win, he dismantled the king. Then came the brutal truth in the numbers Stephen A. laid out, stats that confirmed a master at work. And when legendary trainer Abel Sanchez weighed in on Crawford's performance, his reaction said it all. It was mind-blowing.
He wasn't flawless. He was exceptional. What a great fight, man. All props to Terence and Bomac. You know what? They did what they needed to do to prepare for a guy that hasn't really fought anybody with that kind of style, and with that kind of IQ in the ring. He showed us last night that he's a Hall of Famer for sure. I'm so happy for him, really. I'm so happy for his team because I've been in that position before, and when you get to that point and you win those big fights, it's exhilarating because you know you did the work. So I'm really happy for him. He did great. I'm not even going to say that Canelo had a bad night because no matter what Canelo would have showed up, that Terence Crawford would have beat anybody in the...
Sanchez said he didn't see flaws, only pure mastery. Crawford delivered every shot with Hall of Fame precision. This wasn't about Canelo collapsing under pressure. It was about Crawford rising above every expectation on the sport's grandest stage. And when a trainer who has molded world champions speaks with that kind of conviction, you know the performance was truly extraordinary. But Sanchez didn't stop there.
Last night, and Canelo was the best Canelo could be that last night. I would hate to think what kind of, and I don't think it's fair to think about when Golovkin fought him if Crawford would have fought him. Crawford fought a great fight last night and he won. And I thought the scores were a little tighter than they should have been. I thought Crawford had more rounds. But look, props to both guys.
Sanchez broke it down further, pointing out that Crawford wasn't just edging rounds. He was dictating every second of the fight. Even in Canelo's best moments, he couldn't truly touch Crawford, and the official scorecards failed to capture just how wide the gap really was. This kind of analysis stripped away all the noise and revealed the truth. Fans had just witnessed a defining moment in boxing history. What surprised Shiraz most was Crawford's sheer physical dominance. He expected elite skill, but not the kind of raw power and control that left Canelo looking ordinary.
You know what surprised me was him holding his feet and still dominating, being strong enough to exchange in the clinches, and manhandling Canelo a bit and turning him around like it was nothing. That surprised.
Crawford wasn't just boxing. He was bullying Canelo in the trenches, muscling him around in clinches, winning the exchanges up close, and doing it all in a division where critics swore he'd be undersized. This wasn't just finesse. It was pure authority. Shiraz's reaction summed up what every fan was feeling in real time. Crawford looked untouchable in every dimension of the fight. And when a former world champion like Duke McKenzie, a man who knows exactly what greatness at the elite level looks like, expresses amazement, it only underlines how monumental Crawford's performance truly was.
I mean, what you witnessed last night was just, you know what, there are really not enough superlatives. There are not enough words that you can say what Terence Crawford has just achieved in boxing. It's unheard of. You know what? Another way I'd like to describe it is I've been a world champion, as you know, and I've been a 3-division world champion, but I've only won one of the belts. I don't know what it is to be undisputed. I don't know that feeling. Do you understand? What he did last night is unbelievable. He's a 3-time undisputed world champion, and he's beaten the best of the best.
For McKenzie, this wasn't just another champion having his night. It was history being carved in stone. As a former multi-division world champion who knows the grind firsthand, he admitted that Crawford had reached a level only a rare few ever achieve. That kind of respect, coming from someone who's lived it inside the ropes, made Crawford's victory resonate even deeper, turning a great win into a truly timeless achievement.
For me, there were red flags way before this fight, not way before the fight, you know, in the build-up to this fight. Canelo's body language in the run-up to this fight, you know, he turned up in Vegas in his stretch limo, in his Armani suit. He's had his kids and his wife in the back of the car, and he's got out and he's strolling around like he owns the gaff. Now, That all that signified to me was a very comfortable man. He was too comfortable. And Terence Crawford just kept it real from the outset. Tracksuit, no nonsense, went there to win, said what he was going to do, told the world what he was going to do.
Body shots, jabs. Crawford beat Canelo in every department. He outpunched him, outsmarted him, and outclassed him from start to finish. The body work couldn't slow him, the pressure couldn't rattle him. Crawford stepped in with supreme confidence and left without leaving a shred of doubt. As Stephen A. highlighted, the numbers told the full story. Total domination delivered with calm control. Crawford didn't just win, he proved that every ounce of his confidence was completely justified.
Listen, that's all I care about. That's my definition of cheers. And then you have some of these fools out here, particularly folks from my community, excoriating me because, oh my Lord, you know, I was celebrating Charlie Kirk. No, I was not. Don't know the man, never watched what he said before his political assassination last week. Never, I didn't know anything about what he had said. My point is, now that I do, although many people might find it offensive from different ethnic backgrounds, that's not my point when I was speaking what I said the other day. What I was saying was, he was murdered. Streamed live in front of all of our faces. And no matter what you think or what you feel about what he has said or what his ideology is or what his position may be, that ain't the damn time to be bringing that stuff up. When a man is murdered in front of his wife and children. That's all I was saying. And I don't take back what I said one iota. And I'll leave it at that. People will lie and misrepresent my positions all the time. That's why I have a radio show. That's why I'm on Mad Dog Sports Radio, Sirius XM, Channel 82. That's why I'm debuting on POTUS Radio this Wednesday night from 6 to 8 p.m. on Sirius XM, Channel 124, POTUS Radio, which is a political channel because I'm going to have a weekly show on that. I don't give a damn about criticism.
Stephen put Crawford's name in the history books, and the facts left no room for debate. Undefeated, undisputed, and now a conqueror across 140, 147, and 168 lbs. To Stephen A., this was pure greatness with no excuses and no asterisks, the night Crawford sealed his legacy as the true pound-for-pound king. This wasn't about ending debates. It was about rewriting history in real time. Even veteran boxing writer Dan Raphael, who's seen it all, admitted he was shocked by Crawford's brilliance. What stood out most to him was how Crawford took command in the later rounds. Walking down the bigger man and proving size didn't matter when greatness was on display.
I thought he did a great job. I thought it was close. I had Canelo ahead in the early going, but I thought Crawford did an amazing job closing that fight down in the last few rounds, where he really started to back the supposed bigger guy up, although for me, they looked about the same size. But that was a brilliant performance, and what can you say? I mean, you got to give him his credit. He created a lot of history. He dreamt this fight. He willed it to happen. A lot of people, not me, but a lot of people laughed at him and said, forget about it, no chance against a bigger guy like that. But he showed his greatness.
And Raphael captured it perfectly. This was earned greatness, not hype or fortune. He emphasized how rare it is to see Canelo pushed backward and forced to fight on someone else's terms. Yet Crawford controlled the pace with authority, proving his victory was nothing short of historic.
I think it took him a little while to figure out that, you know what, he doesn't hit as hard as some people were saying, and that I can get in and out, and I'm going to be able to stalk him and walk him down a little bit. And he had Canelo extremely frustrated. And so I guess I was a little surprised he was able to do it, especially in those last couple of rounds. But he definitely was the guy that was going forward and back in. I mean, I've been watching Canelo for his entire career as a known fighter. This is my 24th Canelo Alvarez fight in person. I can't say that against anybody, including big punchers like Triple G and Kovalev and people like that saw him get forced back. That's not normal for a fight with Canelo Alvarez.
And just like that, Crawford versus Canelo came to an end, a fight that will be remembered for generations. For boxing fans around the world, it wasn't just an ending. It was a statement, skill, heart, and greatness can shatter every doubt.
And this is not a disrespect to Canelo, because everybody who has ever read me, followed me, listened to me knows I love Canelo. I think he's one of the greats of all time. I think you can make a really good argument that he's the greatest Mexican of all time, even more than Chavez. That said, he is in decline. He's been in decline for the last few years. He hasn't been what we've seen him at his best since he beat Caleb Plant, that Caleb Plant, Billy Joe Sanders time frame. And, even though he's winning fights, the knockouts haven't happened. He's gotten tired in the later part of the fights, and it's just common. It's the oldest saying in boxing: "Father Time is undefeated." This is a man who has now 532 professional rounds. He may be younger in terms of his age at 35 compared to Terence Crawford at age 37, but Terence Crawford, going into this fight at 245 rounds, now he's at 257. He's got basically half the number of rounds that Canelo does. And Canelo has had a ton of those rounds have been grueling and grinding and punishing. Certainly a lot more of those hard rounds than Terence Crawford's had. So it just stands to reason, you get to be that age in boxing, you're going to start to slow down. Now, all that said, it wasn't like he got blown out. It's like he didn't compete. It was a close fight. I mean, around here, around there, he wins the fight. So, yes, is he in decline? 100%. Is he still very capable of beating good quality fighters? Yes, but Terence Crawford is obviously a special, let's use the word that I hate, but I'll use it, generational kind of fighter.
Terence Crawford just gave the boxing world a masterclass. The kind of performance that proves why so many call him the pound-for-pound king. From preparation to execution, he left no doubt, dominating from start to finish. Canelo, as always, showed his trademark toughness, but this night belonged to Crawford. Now the real debates begin. Did Crawford completely dismantle Canelo, or did the Mexican superstar have his moments? Has Crawford cemented his place among the all-time greats? Will a rematch happen, and if so, what adjustments would Canelo need to make? And perhaps the biggest question, who should Crawford face next to continue building his historic legacy? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for more breakdowns, expert analysis, and reactions from boxing's biggest moments.